Hi, Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk, Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator. Thank you for joining me today, and I am bringing you a project using the Celebration Free foils. Can you see that? Yep, nice and shiny. So the foil, you get lovely lipstick, and you get the grapefruit grove as well. So these are I just keep these bits here for the bits that I'm using and the other bits, because you get loads. You get what do you get? 4 sheets of each. Is that right? Yeah, I think you get 4 sheets. Yeah, you get 4 sheets of each. So yeah, that's like loads. So I've got 1 sheet on the go at a time, and I just keep them in this separately, and the others are just on the shelf. So this is, it could be a card, couldn't it? That would make a lovely card, but it's actually a notepad, which is why it says a little note. So these little jotter pads, they're C6 jotter pads. You get 4 in a pack from the range. I think they were £1. Yes, they were £1. I've written it on it. Yeah, I thought these would make lovely thank you gifts for customers who shopped with me. So that's what I'm doing. So I haven't, so that they come like that without a cover. So I've just made a lovely cover. What I've used for that is the new Vibrant Vases set that goes with the vase punch that we have. So we've already got a set of this in the annual catalogue. Let me get that. So this is the set that came out in the annual catalogue, and so now we've got 2. So we've just got different choices there of vases and flowers and sentiments. So these sentiments are much bigger. These ones are littler. Okay, so I'm using this flower here, and we've got some 2-step stamping, and then there's another flower there with 2-step stamping on it. So let me put this to one side, and let's stop the waffle and get on with it. So I've got my cardstock already cut up ready. All the measurements will be over on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. So this Whisper White, it is the same width as A6, and it's 7 inches long to give us the turnover. And then I've got a bit of the lovely lipstick foiling, and that's the size of the first mat that I would normally do for a card. All the measurements will be on my blog. And then you get a Whisper White one, which is the standard size of my second mat that I would normally do, and then a scrap for the front bit here, and a bit of scrap of the foil to do the vase. Now this one I've actually embossed with the subtle embossing folder, because I thought that might give it just a little bit of interest and make it a little bit different there. So I'm just going to feed that down the punch. I might take that little bit off there, and I might take that bit off there because it's catching. And that just gives, out of that little scrap, just a little bit of interest there in the vase, so it looks like you've been on the potter's wheel and making it. I just liked it. Okay, so let's do our stamping. What we will be doing is, out of the middle of this, be cutting our frame there. So I'm using these 2 stitched rectangles, and I'll be running that through the big shot like so to give us our frame, but it's going to be sandwiched between that piece and that piece, so you won't notice that there's a bit in the middle left over, and you will have a stitched rectangle there to use on another project. So I'm going to move that out of the way and do that in a minute. because we're going to do some stamping on this, and that's going to require die cutting as well. Okay, so I've got the flower mounted up here. I'm using Memento ink, and Memento ink is what we use with our blends because it's water based and it allows you to use the blends. So I'm just going to stamp that down like so, and I am not going to do blending as such. So I've got lovely lipstick, I've got the pineapple punch, and I've got some old olive. It is actually quite small area, so I'm just using the one tone to colour it in, because this gives it a lot of a darker colour than stamping, and so it kind of goes with the foil a lot better. So just a little stroke. I really ought to have my glasses on because I can't see well enough. And then I'm just going to take the pineapple punch to give it a nice vibrant middle. This is Vibrant Vases, and I've just seen that I've missed that bit there, and that bit there. No, I don't think that is. And then I'm just going to colour these little leaves. And that's it. So you could do the two-step stamping, but I wanted it to be much darker to go out with that. And then that is going to get cut out using the smaller of the rectangles that came with, that I'm using to make the frame. So I've done that one slightly offside. You could put it in the middle if you wanted. I quite like it offside. Quite like it that way. So that's the die cutting that needs doing. So I'm going to do the flap over that we need. So we need to do a bit of scoring on this. So I'm bringing in my trimmer to do the scoring because this is about 3/16. So I found the trimmer better. So I'm going to put this at what is 5 3/4, which is the length here, and I'll score there. And then what I found was basically this brown mark here is the width of this. So I put that line I just scored on to the edge of where this ends. It's sort of grey brown, whatever, and then did another one there, and that gives me the width of my notebook. Obviously if you get different notebooks then you will adjust it accordingly to the size of your notebook. I've had some that are like 1/4 inch, but that one fits that perfect. Okay, so I am going to do the die cutting and then we'll come back to decorating this. So done my die cutting, so I've done that bit, and then this is the frame. So that's the spare bit I'll have, which I shall put in my little folder there with the other bits, and then this comes off like that, and so that's my frame. So this needs to get glued on to the front there. So I'm going to get some Tombow. And so it has a 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Then we stick this to that. Then I stick this on. You can see where the alcohol markers come through, which is perfectly normal. I have used ordinary Whisper White. Sometimes I use some extra thick. So I'm not centering it, I've got it slightly to the one side. Love this frame effect from these framelets. They're just brilliant. Can make thicker ones. I have only done thinner ones so far. Maybe I'll do thicker one. You do get some little slivers from the foil. Let's pick those off. And then we need, I use some dimensionals on the vase to pop it up. And then we just need, I'm using the, from the Butterfly Gala, the little note sentiment. Well, I would if I could actually see it. Seem to have left it on my desk. There we go, got it back. And lovely lipstick. Ink. And I'm being very brave here that I'm doing it after I've done everything else. And just going to stick that down there. Hope my head wasn't in the way there, trying to make sure it's straight. There we go, that's fine. I would say that's pretty perfect. And then I'm just going to put Tombow on the back piece. I'm not putting it along the top because the top of the pad's already got its glue. So I don't really wish to interfere with that. So we put it on and fold it over. And that's it. And there we have it, my two little notebooks. So one with the different Vases effects. Hope you like that. All details on my blog, nigezza.co.uk, and links to my shops there. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye now.